As
Yeah.
look on the pace car back. And if you want to see who your favorite drivers are, there's a ticker up above. Generally, it's going to be about a lap, about half a lap to a full lap slower than what normally is, but you generally have a good idea here of where your favorite driver is. Like you said, it should be an interesting race. If it's anything like Monday, Monday was a blast. Only had 3 cautions, which is a little bit much for a 31 lapper at Daytona, but he has some good green runs there.
And it seems like as of late, you either have a good bit of cautions or you go caution free here.
Yeah.
And I know because the ones I was up front in last season, remember trucks at Daytona, I got taken out in one, so I decided to lay in the back the next one, and my luck, it went caution free, so I was back in the back. Luckily, I believe David was had some bad luck that last qualifier. He was leading off a turn four, and I believe you were involved in the big one, and I
Yeah.
managed to make it through, and that got me in.
I know what you're talking about. I was in the lead for a little bit, and I got my partner hooked me and sent me in the infield a little bit, and dropped like 20 positions, and I was in the back most of that race. Charged up to the front, took it 3 wide, um, and truck. I got the truck a little bit loose, went up and caused a big one. But like you said, some races are just cautious fest. Other races are really clean. A lot of green flag running here. If these guys could get single file for a majority of this race, I think we'll have a long green race. If they double up too wide, expect 1 or 2 cautions for just a little here and there mistake. But I project this one to be a good race, and I'm going to read down the qualifying real quick. We got Michael in the 18, and first Mark Montanari, and second Everett D. Lane, third John Larson, fourth Colin Berkey, fifth Daryl Cockright, sixth Tommy Carton in seventh, Sean Dewar in eighth, Lee Ridge in ninth, Ralph Shipman in 10th. Running up your top 10, we got James Wilkins, Ron McMahon, Brian Coveney in 13th, James Brown 14th, Gordon Berkey 15th. I think that's a little bit strategy with Jim and Gordon starting way back there in the back of the pack. And rounding out, got Allen, Kevin, and Joel Wood, who did not qualify. Hopefully it's a long green flag race, and hopefully we see some 2 wide beating and banging action, maybe some 3 wide if we're lucky. Should be a good one, folks, so stay tuned.
Yeah, and it don't matter if they go green flag all the way. You won't know who's going to win this race till they take the checkered flag, because you'll need a drafting partner to be leading. And that drafting partner, I don't care if he's your teammate or your worst enemy, no matter what, he don't want you to win that race. And
No, he
he's going
doesn't.
to...
Well,
He,
some teammates will allow you to do that, but a lot of them won't. They want that win from themselves. They want that free entry to the Sunday money, because if you do win a qualifier, CORA pays your way into the Sunday money race on Sunday night. So that's always good to have happen.
yeah, don't expect these guys riding up at the front on the last lap to think that they're just going to, make it in and everything. They want that free entry. They want that not have to pay that $2. Their sponsors, it helps their sponsors. But they're coming down to take the green flag. Green flag's going. Looks like we got a good start here.
Yep, Michael leads it off in the 18. Mark right beside him in the 14. Looks like Michael's going to get a drafting partner from Everett. And Mark on the top side is going to have John Larson as his dancing partner as they're
Ma-
slowly getting up to speed.
Oh, and the 18 goes up high to get Mark. Be
Oh,
interesting to see.
a little strategy there maybe, a little teamwork maybe. Everett, Everett Lane is down there in the 1 car, straight on the bottom. No dancing partner as of yet, but looks like Colton Berkey might dance with them a little bit.
Here comes John Larson down in front of Everett. So looks like Sean Dewar. Can he get in line here? He's got Ralph coming up behind him, but he's going to drop in line. So it's single file all the way back to around 8.
Looks like Ralph Shipman is on the high side, leading the high side with Ron McMahon behind him. Really, yeah, about 8th or 10th. And it looks like the high side is going backwards fast as we're going through the field slowly. Jim and Gordon seem to be working together. As I mentioned earlier, those two always work good together.
Looks like Colton Berkey, he's probably going to have to drop back to Sean here.
I would agree because the 4 cars in front of them are dancing together, so and working together. So I think it'll be best to burp it a little bit, burp that car a little bit, and shift on back. But he's keeping up, right? He's keeping up, but it's a matter of how long can he keep up to those 4 cars in front of him. As you see, Everett and John are not really working together. Everett's keeping John up there, but not really pushing him past them.
Another thing you got to keep in mind here is these guys are going to try to save their engines. A switch will lose you some time here. So early on, you're going to see these guys probably breathe it just a little and not, try to make all the moves just so they can save their engines without switching.
I agree with that one there. Unless you're in the back of the, if you're in the front of the back, what probably the best thing to do is just cruise for a while. Not push too hard unless you're the front 2, which you need to push to make that speed. But, yeah, like you're saying, save that engine early. Unless you're in the back of the pack and have to gun it, save your engine, because this is a long race. 31 laps might not seem long, but it's a long race for these engines. As you see the 14 and 18 making a switch from the 98 and 1, as Everett backs up a little bit off the 98.
That was good driving there by Everett and everyone there. If Everett, would have stayed on them, John and them could have forced the issue, and we might have had our first caution, because a lot of times with the switches gone wrong, that's a product of the big one here.
You are right on that one. Everett backed off a little bit, and John looks like he backed off a little bit too, so they won't cause a wreck. I agree with that one. And the 18 and 14, I'm thinking that maybe practice a little bit because they are flying. And look at there, the 81 of Coleman is still hanging on to his front pack. I'm amazed by that. He really must have a fast car as Everett gets a little bit loose behind John Larson. And these guys have a lead on this backpack. As we're looking back here, we got the 66. I think that is Wilkins, if I'm not correct.
What, 66? 66, that is Sean Dewar.
Sean Dewar in the 66. My bad. Sean leaned his backpack, and 16 and 54 seemed to try to get the highline working to get past Ron and the 02 of James Wilkins. That's what I was thinking of earlier. But it doesn't seem to be working. They just do not have the speed or the help up there to do it.
There's really going to be 2 battles going on out here tonight, folks. One for the win and another for 10th place, because CORA only takes the top 10, and then the 2 highest finishers outside the top 10 with the least amount of incident points. So you're going to want to watch around the battle between 10th and 11th on that last lap, because it could get wild as well.
And you are watching that. The 66 is in 6th place on back, so that looks like 6th through 12th, it looks like. Oh, Ron gets a little bit loose. He saves it, gets on the track, but he's going to lose a lot of time, a lot of speed. It's just a matter of can he find a dancing partner back there in the 3rd pack. As we look up here, oh, Lee gets on the side of the 17 a little bit, gets a little bit loose, saves it. Nice job there, Lee. Continue watching this 2nd pack, this middle pack.
Yeah, these guys are really going to be going at it here because they want to be in this top 10.
That they do. Looks like the 17 is now working with James Wilkins in the 02 now as they try to get that high side working. And something I mentioned is the 50, I forgot to mention, the 54 looks like it backed off a little bit to catch to get the on the draft in the 999 car. I'm not going to get used to those triple numbers. I don't think I ever will, but looks like maybe some teamwork there with the old school guys, Ron and Daryl.
Well, they're not really members, but they are really good friends with everyone in old school, and those two are pretty good friends on and off the racetrack. So it don't surprise me that they're hooking up. I think it was their plan all along. So yeah, always good to help a teammate or a friend out.
And as I'm looking up here, I don't know when it exactly happened, but Everett D. Lane is your new leader with John Larson pushing him in the 98. The 14 18 seem to back off a little bit. They're still in third and fourth. And the 81, I'm still amazed he's up there. He really has a fast car to hang on that draft and not lose it.
Tell you, Everett, he's doing good. He hasn't mowed no grass tonight, so I guess he's gonna try to keep her out front.
And as you look there, I don't know if you guys can see it, as I'm going through the cameras a little bit for you, but you see the lead a little bit. They're just now getting out of 2, and the front pack is basically getting into 3, so they have a pretty good sized lead here, as I'm playing with the cameras a little bit. But yeah, the front 5 is just has a much lead on this back pack, and what I said earlier is, if these guys can get single file, this will be a green flag race, easily. And these drivers proven it, and also proven their skill by keeping it green.
Oh yeah, we've had 2 near crashes, and it's amazing that both those guys saved it. And I don't know which is more amazing, the fact that they didn't wreck or the fact that Colton Berkey is hanging with these leaders. I can't believe this.
Yeah, I'm a little confused on. I can't decide which 2 is more amazing. As this back pack is going 3 wide, 3 wide, 3 deep here as they do a little tongue twister now. And this seems to be the place where all the action is. The front 5 relatively staying the same as 54 gets in the 16 a little bit.
Oh, and Joel Wood got a little loose underneath the Gordon Berkey there. Yeah, these guys.
These guys are going at it. I mean, like I said, this is 6 through the back of the field, which is about 15th or 16th. So this is basically 10, 11 cars fighting for the top 10 spot. And also the 11th and 12th, the wild card and the lucky dog, not lucky dog, but and the safe driver award. So all these positions are critical to get into the big dance Sunday night.
Yeah, and think of this restrictor plate racing as the pack is a hurricane. Right here is the eye of the storm. This is where all the dangerous stuff could happen and the big one could happen. So watch here. This could get pretty exciting, especially as the laps widen down.
Speaking of Colton Berkey, I'm looking up here in this front 5 pack, and Colton Berkey's moved up to 3rd place with the 18 and 14 and 4th and 5th. So maybe Colton's trying to force the issue of someone working with them?
It looks like these guys really aren't connected all the way around the track. It looks like they're running in a straight line. And they can do that due to the fact that it looks like that second pack is doing it. So something we didn't expect is kind of a pack race tonight with 2 different packs.
Yep, and I'm looking at the 02 of James Wilkins and the 66 of Sean Dewar pulling away from the second pack a little bit. The 16 of Lee Ridge leads the 3rd pack and the biggest pack of the 3 of them.
I think if Sean and James can stay hooked up, I think they might have a shot at this.
Looks like that was a switcher doing a little bit of messy of a switch, but thinking they could get hooked back together. Ooh, what's going on here? Maybe Sean Dewar doesn't want to work with James, per se, because they're not lined up. They're not trying to be lined up.
Yeah, and it looks like it's allowing this 3rd pack to catch up to them, and the closing rate could be big here, so this could get interesting.
Oh, yeah. And looking 16 is coming in fast.
Oh, this is going to get wild.
I think the 16 let off a little bit so not to spin the 66 of Sean. We are heading to lap 15 of 31. We have been caution free for 15 laps. We had a couple close calls. I'm looking in the front of the pack, and the 14 18 are making a move on the 1 and 98. 198 are a little bit separated. And the 14 has taken the lead, but can he keep it on the high side, or will the 1 of Everett D. Lane claim it back on the low side?
Colton's still hanging with them. Drag race, it's going to be the one
Ooh,
car at the line. And that
just
could be your
barely.
margin of victory tonight, folks.
Oh yeah, I can imagine that will be a margin of victory if this front pack keeps up the way it is. Like I said, the backpack is exciting, but this front pack, even with this hard race, are still pulling away a little bit and keeping that big distance away from the main backpack. And that's crucial. Well, that's not so crucial, but it eliminates a lot of possibilities of wrecking, if you know what I'm saying. Wow, this front pack just split up majorly. What? Oh, caution is out, looks like. Caution is out. As I try to find what happened. You got any numbers or eyes on the track there? Ooh,
I'm looking. Looks like the 79 of Joel Wood has some damage.
looks like the 56. Hold on, guys. Let me get a ride with the 56 here.
Oh, it was the big one. Yeah, it was the
It
big one.
was the big one.
You can never let your guard down here. I mean, it's always lurking, and
As we try to figure out what happened, it looked like the 56 just went up a little bit right into the 17, and that caused a train reaction. Joe Wood in the 79 got it 54. The 02, the 999, looks like 22, also 99. So I'm counting at least 6 to 7 cars here involved in this wreck.
at 200 miles an hour, you can't stop and avoid that.
Now, all you have to do is pick a lane and drive. Let's ride the cockpit of Sean Dewar here. Let's see what he sees. Yeah, the 66 just went up into the 00, and Sean missed it. Wow. Good dodging by Sean.
When you say see what he saw, close your eyes and hold on to your steering wheel really tight. That's what he saw, I guarantee it.
Exactly. His heart had to be pumping a little bit as I get rid of this qualifying. And looks like James and Gordon and the 00 and the 17 are making a move. It just looks like the 56 could not hold his car down and just went up, and that in turn collected, as you see, a lot of cars.
And when you get side by side like that, and you're right on that yellow line, you don't want to hit that yellow line or you'll go up. And your car will just start washing up a little. And all it takes is the slightest contact here, and you take out 10, 20, or the whole field, you know.
Yeah, let's take a ride one more time in slow motion of Joe Wood. He probably had the hardest hit of everybody, so brace yourself. This hit is a little bit ugly. As you see, it's already starting. 56 goes up, gets into the 00, and nowhere to go for Mr. Joel Wood.
You hate to see that for Joel. He didn't even know if he was going to be running tonight. And he was pretty excited. He had a good car. Looked like he was hanging in the back. But good thing is these qualifiers have one reset. And we'll be able to get back out and maybe even contend for the win.
You're right there. All these drivers do have one reset they can use to get these cars repaired and get them back out. So a lot of these drivers, like 7 or 8 drivers, are going to have to use that one reset. And it's pretty far in this race. We're on lap 18 of 31. So these drivers only have about 13 laps left to run. Should be a pretty interesting finish. And hopefully, we can, unlike Monday, we can finish under green. Because that produces some exciting racing. If it's like anything like this front pack is showing us, it might be a drag race where it's side by side. It might go to 0.01 finish, maybe.
Just to put it in how big that wreck was, Joel Wood, who took the hardest hit out of it, is still in 10th and can still make it into the Sunday Money race. So it took out everyone from about 8th back.
Right you are, as we see Joe Wood drifting off in the pits to get that car repaired. up until that, these guys are racing good. They're racing hard. They're leaving very little chance. We had a couple close calls there early on in the race, but everybody saved it. And like I said, it just takes one mistake, one car to get a little bit free, get a little bit loose, and it can cause a chain reaction and a domino effect that just takes a lot of cars out of the race.
Now it'll be interesting on this restart to see if Everett slides up in front of John, or if he stays on the bottom and let Colton push, because you know Colton's going to be fast in the draft with how fast he was by himself.
Oh yeah, like Colton, I'm amazed by this kid. He stayed up there. He was an odd man out most of the time in that front pack, but stayed with that front pack, stayed with those two dancing partners up there, those two teams up there. Stood up there. So I'm actually curious if the one's going to drift up on the 98 or the 98 going to drift behind the one, or is the one going to work with the 81? There's so many possibilities. There's so many things you can do on these restarts to pick your drafting partner that I bet a lot of these drivers are thinking, who am I going to work with? What am I going to do? Maybe some team communication to figure out, okay, you do this and you do that, so these teammates can work together.
Yeah, in every CORA event, if you cause an incident, you will get an EOL. So it looks like, I believe the 56 was the cause of that, if I'm not
56
mistaken.
was the cause of that, yes. That's what I saw.
So if they saw the same as us, it looks like he's going to get an EOL, so he'll go to the tail end of the longest line and try to fight his way back up into the top 10.
Unfortunately for Joel, I'm looking at his car right now, and it looks like he didn't get a lot of his car repaired. And with iRacing is, if your car is heavily damaged, it can take up to 2 resets for the car to be fully repaired. So Joel might have a rough night if this is exactly what I'm seeing, but also could be the iRacing glitch, where the car's fixed on his screen, but everybody else is busted.
Yeah, and I mean, there's so many possibilities with that, but you can't really count anyone on the lead lap out here. I mean, his
No,
car could look like a dune buggy, and he could miss a huge wreck on the last lap and come through and win it.
you're exactly right on that one. As the pace car lights are out, we are 1 to go as we're entering in it too. So after everything you've seen here, do you want to stand by your pick of Mr. Jim Brown? Or are you going to switch up to a little bit more another prospect?
I'm gonna stick with my pick, but I won't be too surprised if I see Colton Berkey take the win here.
He's shown he has a fast car all race long, and he could possibly take it if he gets some help. Because I think that's what he was missing up there in the front pack, with some help. If he has some help, I wouldn't be surprised if he blew past everybody there from the speed he was showing us.
Yeah, and all I can say is this is going to get wild. I mean, you better pick up the phone and call somebody and tell them this is about to get crazy, because you would be correct.
This will be wild. Like I said, top 10 get into the Sunday night's race with we got a wild card, which is random drawn, and also safe driver. So if you finish outside the top 5 and have the least amount of incidents and not in the top 10, you can get in if you're the first car with the least amount of incidents. So there's 2 ways if you're not in the top 10 to get into the dance Sunday night.
Yeah, and quick note, as we restart with 11 to go, they did not see it the same as us. James Brown was given the EOL for this one.
Wow.
But the pace car is going to be pulling off, and this is going to get wild.
I did not expect that one, but the official's word is the official's word.
Pace
As
car is
Everett
off.
D. Lane leads John Larson as they go. Pace car off, they are flying. 1 and 98 lead the pack. Now let's see if any strategies play around who wants to dance with who.
It looks to me like Everett's probably going to stay on that bottom.
Oh, the 14 leaves the 16 out on the high line, so it's 98 and 16 on the high line, followed by the 22 of Ralph Shipman. As the 98, John Larson is trying to find an opening on the bottom line to get to the bottom, get that grab. But it's finding no such luck as the 81 and 1 are flying as the 98 slowly going backwards. The 16 gets Little contact with the 98. And then it looks like the 98 John Larson fall behind Lee Ridge in 16. As Everett D. Lane still leading on the front. This backpack is getting a little wild here. I'm thinking that 79 may have that iRacing damage glitch because his car seems to be running pretty good as his front four is pulling away again. The 14-18 are making a move on the outside, trying to claim that lead from Everett D. Lane and Cole Perky. But they find no such success at the moment.
Looks like Ralph Shipman has his BART competitions karting Chevy in the top 10 at the moment. So it looks like he is in the transfer spot, but it
looks like 16 gets a little bit high. Sorry to interrupt you, but 16 taps the 98 a little bit. Nice save by the 98.
That could have been big.
That could have been big, yeah. Because that's 6th place, that's 5th place on back. So all these cars are in the race while the one man is in 10th place. He's the last car automatically in. So if these guys play smart, they can either continue to try to charge up to the front, or they can kind of chill a little bit while attaining a lot of speed to make the chase. But it'll be interesting to see what they do.
Everett Lane and Colton Berkey had to switch, and they got really separated. So Mark Montieri in the 14 and the 18 are going to probably get a sizable lead here as Lee Ridge is coming with John Larson now.
Those two always have fast cars, but the luck is there on their side. Looks like the luck might change today as the lead bumps the 1 a little bit, helps Everett get up to the 81 and try to catch up to the 14 of Mark Montanari and the 18 of Michael as Michael and Mark switch up there in front.
This could get hairy. They're stacking up.
You are right, they are stacking up a little bit.
They gave plenty of room there. Here goes Colton to the outside with Everett. So
looks like the 14-18 has separated a little bit. That's going to give 1 and 81 a run on the high side. Can they capitalize? Can they do it? And yes, it looks like they will. Can the 14-18 get together, get synced up before they lose any more positions to the 16 and 98?
Everett and Colton are flying. Everett just ran his fastest lap of the race at a 44.130, so they are flying around here.
We have 6 laps to go here on the Wednesday night qualifier for CORA, Championship Online Racing Association. Whoops, wrong button. Camera. I think I may have to fire my cameraman because they are not doing it right. As the 18 and 14 make a move, and I was trying to get John Larson there as he and Lee fall back. And look who we got Sean Dewar and 17 of Gordon Berkey right behind Lee and John. They're in the 98 and 16.
They have enough laps to get up there. If everything can go their way, they might can be up here contending for the win.
If they can get up, if they can stay single file, they can get up the real shot. And the car I'm worried about a little bit is Ron McMahon. He's out here solo and far enough away where he's going to lose a lot of draft. Now the question is, he's in 9th place with the 54 of Darrell Conkright and James Brown in 10th and 11th. This will be interesting if James and Darrell catch up to John. These two would be in the dance and John would be left out. Or there's several possibilities that can happen where one of these two leaves to help Ron. So many possibilities. This is why I love racing, folks. Getting down to nitty-gritty and just see the possibilities going on the track.
One quick note, Tommy Corcoran has parked his car and he is out of the race. As the front 4 is still duking it out, coming to 4 to go here.
They are pulling away a little bit, but we got the 98 and 16 reeling them in. As the 81 of Colton Berkey goes to the high side with his partner Everett D. Lane in the 1. They're going to try to make that work. Can they make it work?
Man, I hope they can stay green here. I want to see how this one's going to end.
Oh, this one will be fun to watch, folks. Do not move at all. Call your friends. Call anybody. This is about to get wild, I can tell you. The
Here
18 and
come.
the 18 and 14 improved themselves on the outside, but the 1 and 81 haven't. And it'll be interesting to see if they can work well on the outside.
One thing I love about racing, just, a couple laps ago, Mark and the 18, they were just out front cruising with Colton and Everett behind them. Mark looks over and goes, oh, rot row. Here they come. They're challenging for the lead. But now they're backing off, having to switch, and that's going to allow Lee Rich to gain some ground here.
Indeed, as 16 is Lee Ridge and now you have John Larson separated a little bit, that's going to cost some time. But we got the 17 and the 66 of John Dewar running these two in and running the front four in. So we got the top eight relatively close to each other. All of this top eight are close enough where they have a shot at winning this. Oh, I just saw the 66 blink out.
As they cross the line this time, they'll be coming to 2 to go, so 2 more times, 5 miles around this track.
Can Everett, V-Lane, and the 1 work that high side to pass the 14 and the 18? It looks like the 18 might be getting a little bit hot. 14 giving them a little bit of room. That's going to cost some time.
I honestly think Everett can pull it off if they side draft and time it just right.
Indeed, but they're going to have some company here with the 16 and 98 of John Larson.
And these guys are coming. They'll be coming to take the white flag, so possibly a 3-wide finish. I wouldn't count that out either.
16 was making a move like he was going to take a 3-wide there.
Here they come, white flag. This is where it gets wild.
Yes, it does. Looks like it's going to be a 6-way finish. Who will win? Who will get into the dance free? And who would be in the top 10 at the end of it? All questions are going to be answered this lap.
Here they come. Man, this is going to get good here coming into 4. Watch Lee. If he gets a run, he'll take him 3 wide. He wants to win this race.
But I don't think the 1 and 80 have anything for the 14, 18 on that bottom. As they go in a little bit, oh, 81 cuts off Lee in 16. Looks like Everett's going to be left in the dust as the 14 takes the win. 8 with the 18 right behind him and the 81 of Colton Berkey.
Man.
That was a finish. As I'm going to read off your top 10, we got Mark Montanari, Michael Vanadol. I'm sorry, Michael, I'm butchering your name, I know. I'll try to get it right. Colton Berkey in 81 in 3rd, Everett D. Lane in 4th, Lee Ridge in 5th, John Larson 6th, Gordon Berkey 7th, Sean Dewar in 8th, Ron McMahon in 9th, and Joe Wood, the guy we're worried about, that had a hard hit early in the race, finishes 10th. So Daryl Conkright, James Brown, Brian Corvey, Ralph Shipman, and James Wilkins, along with Tommy Karkin, all have to hope for the best on the incident to get in, and also the wild card to get in, random drawing. That was a fun race. What'd you say there, Travis?
Oh, yeah, and Mark Montieri, man, he did everything right tonight. Had a great push from the 18. I think the 18 could have stepped out, but, he just thought he'd push him across the line. I guarantee you, if it would have been Sunday, that would have been a much different story.
Indeed. And I forgot to mention this earlier in the broadcast, but your broadcasters tonight were David Wenk and Travis Brown as your 2 broadcasters tonight. Sorry I didn't inform you guys earlier, but that was a fun race, and we'll be seeing you guys later for the Sunday or Friday, or actually Saturday night. We may stream again, me and Travis. So watch out for that on the Sunday night qualifier. It's the last chance to get in. That should be a really wild race.
Oh, yeah. A lot of guys will pull a lot of desperate moves there because it's their last chance. So it should be a good one. Hope to see y'all tune in.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time. here on CORA Championship Online Racing Association. See you guys soon.